the tribe. But they also called him Charlie. His name was Charlie. He had one name. And so when they asked him to come in to get registered by the Department of Indian Affairs, because BC had joined Confederation, they were trying to find out how many Aboriginal people actually lived in British Columbia. And the reason they wanted to know how many Indians were actually in BC was because the provincial government was trying to inflate their numbers because they get more money for more people, right? So the government was going, well, we better check this out. It was a really good reason why they were trying to figure this out. And I don't know if they still do that. Do they? No, I don't. No, not done anymore. But anyway, Charlie was out living on Point Grey, and he refused to come in. He wouldn't come in. And so they registered him as Charlie Point, because that's where he was living. And that's how I got my last name, Steven Point. And so I walk up to get hotel registered. They all say, Steve Point. I said, what? You know, Point. I said, this is it. It's a real pleasure for me to be here with you, celebrating, is it 20 years of the festival? 30 years. Whoa. 30 years of Carnegie. I never thought I'd be playing Carnegie Hall, by the way. I wish I brought my guitar. I would have done it. Well, it's not too late, he says. Oh yeah. By the way, that's the combination of God Save the Queen and O Canada is what's called the Vice-Regal Salute, played whenever the Lieutenant Governor comes to an event. And outside of the Canadian band itself, that was actually the best rendition I've ever heard of that. Oh, you guys are cool. You know what's cool? It's really cool. Is having a center like this. What is, I think, viewed popularly and probably wrongly as one of the poorest areas in Vancouver, where so many of our brothers and sisters reside. I used to come down here when I was a law student on Thursday nights to set up a table and give out legal advice. And I'll tell you, I was scared getting off the bus. You know, but after you kind of got down, he would talk to you and go, well, they're just regular folks like me off the reservation. And I think the perception is a lot scarier than reality. But the reality is still needs to be improved. I know that. I know that the poorest people reside in areas like this in cities across North America. It needs to be supported. It needs to be helped. But you're coming together in a festival for 30 years. Well, nobody knows about this festival. I think this is fantastic. 37 years? Every time they say it gets more and more. I don't want to. If I stay up here any longer, it'll be 57 years. But what is a community? A community is not its buildings. It's not its streets. It's not even its institutions. A community is its people. The people who make up and come and spend time together. I was at a conference one time, and they asked me that question: how would you define community? And the only answer, the only thought that came to my mind was this notion that you and I are connected at our hearts. That's why we put the blanket across the earth. We're connected at our hearts. And you know, this hurts when somebody passes away or they go away from you for a long time. And a community of people guided by the hearts, living by the hearts, are people that look after one another, who take care of one another, who support one another, regardless of whether where you come from, where are you from in the world. You become connected at your hearts, and that's what a community is. And I see that here. I've witnessed that here. People who look after each other, who come to each other's aid. And it's done here probably more so than many, many parts of the country. The connection is so strong with the people here in Eastside. I'm very honored and humbled, in fact, to be asked to come to participate with you in your festival. And I only wish I brought my harmonica. Wow. Music brings people together, right? They say that the drum is the heartbeat of the nation. You know why? Because the drum is like a microphone to the Creator. When the Creator hears that drum, he knows, oh, the people are celebrating, the people are praying, and he starts to listen. And that drum also calls people from all around because they hear that sound of the drum and they remember the sound of their mother's heartbeat when they were still with her before their birth. So the drum beat, which is so important part of our musical culture, has this very, very important job to reinforce the connection that we have with our hearts. And in fact, that's what the role of our culture is to do. Everything that we do in ceremony, everything that we do with one another is to help to reinforce that connection that we have with each other. And sometimes I think we don't pay enough attention to our culture, to our songs, and to the people that create the beautiful artwork that we have. And we've been a culture of science and technology for so long. And what science and technology cannot do, though, is make this connection between our hearts stronger. And that's what culture does. And in this community, in the Eastside, you are doing something here that, in my view, is an example for so many communities. You are reinforcing the strong bond that you already have. And I encourage you to continue that, to carry that on. I hope this festival carries on stronger every year. And I hope that you invite me to play sometime in your festival. I do a really good Elvis Presley interpretation. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Consider yourself booked.